So today I want to share with you something that one of my very best friends taught me. And she taught me how I can answer two universal questions. And these questions are, how can we live the best life that we possibly can? And how can we leave this world a little better than how we found it? And she taught me that knowledge is one of the answers to these questions. And it might seem very obvious that knowledge is important, but it's easy to forget the full potential of knowledge and how much more there is to learn than what your parents tell you or what your teachers tell you, and those are very important, but there's just so much more to it. And so let me introduce you to my best friend. And she was my family friend's dog, and we pet sat her so much that she became part of our family. And she was the sweetest dog I ever knew, but unfortunately she started life off at a bad place. She had numerous health issues, and lots of evidence pointed towards her coming from an abusive family. And because of her, I was compelled to do as much research as possible to keep her around and keep her happy for as long as possible. And even after she passed away, I continued what she taught me with Abby. And I didn't stop there either. I kept going with the dog. But all these three animals, they taught me that if life can seem so simple, and in some ways it is, but if you dive deep into one thing, and it can be anything, like how I did with dogs and cats, you can realize how much more there is to learn and how that can better your life and the life of others. And to start illustrating my point, I'm going to tell you three facts that I learned through my animal research that are not common knowledge but really should be. And to start, I'm going to talk about declawing. And when most people declaw their cats, at least I hope, they wouldn't do it out of bad intentions, and they think it'll make their life easier and the cat's life easier because they don't have to worry about being scratched or having their furniture be messed up. But unfortunately, that's not the case because cats, unlike humans, are digitigrades. And for comparison, humans are plantigrades, which means we distribute our weight on our metatarsals as shown on this diagram. And digitigrades, like dogs and cats, they distribute their weight on their toes. And what declawing does is it amputates their distal phalange, or their toes, which is what they're meant to walk on and what they're meant to put their weight on. So that can cause many health issues, including an increased chance of arthritis later in life, and it can also cause behavioral issues, such as territorial problems, because the way cats mark their territory is scratching, and that's why cat trees and scratching posts are so important for cats, because when they scratch on their posts, they feel secure in their territory, and therefore they won't lash out or they won't feel insecure. And the next point is puppy mills. And puppy mills is where all the cute dogs come from in the malls and the pet stores, but unfortunately they come from facilities that mass produce dogs. And they breed the males and females repeatedly until they can no longer breed. So the males are bred until they die, and then the females are bred until they physically can't carry any more litters, and at that point they are put to death. And these puppies are also separated from their mom at an age that is much too early for them, which causes mental trauma to them, because those short 8 weeks, sometimes more, it depends on the dog, but those 8 weeks are very important in their social development. And both declawing and this information about puppy mills, they showed me that even though things are conventional, declawing is a rather common procedure. Getting a puppy from a mall isn't really unheard of, but those are not always the best options, and you have to look into them yourself. And then finally, I'm about pet food. The pet food industry is not nearly as well regulated as we want to think, and this allows companies to source their ingredients from wherever they want. They can come from discard meat from the human meat packing industry, which means they don't pass tests for human consumption, and too often this leads to contamination, which leads to recalls. And these recalls are often called too late, and dogs and cats are dying because of this contamination when it could have been easily avoided. And this realization about the pet food industry led me to learn that a raw food diet is actually the healthiest option for a dog or cat with a well-functioning immune system. And this is because their digestive systems are shorter. They have the necessary enzymes to digest raw food, and they're meant to get nutrients from raw meat, organs, and bones. And I don't know about you, but feeding my pets raw meat and organs and blood and bones does not sound very fun and also expensive. So I cannot afford that, but because I learned this information, I'm able to give my pets the best diet that I can give them because I learned how I can do that. And you might be wondering, I don't have pets, I don't want pets, why am I listening to you? Well, the point is I'm not trying to tell you how to raise your pets. I simply want to show you that there's so much you can learn in this world, and we can't be the best at whatever we do if we never learn how. And we have so much potential to learn. Right now, we literally have potential at our fingertips with our smartphones. We have Google, we have public libraries if people go there anymore, and then we have just so much potential to learn. And it's true that you can't believe everything you read, but if you use your own judgment and you use common sense and you look into your resources, you can use all this technology and all this information to your advantage. And it doesn't even have to be about animals, it can be anything. If you're passionate about something, don't stop there, keep going and fill yourself with knowledge about it, because it's worth it. Because all I did was I did some research on dogs and cats, and it changed my life. It made me feel so fulfilled, and I want you guys to feel that fulfillment too. And so I challenge you to leave this world a little better than how we found it. And I challenge you to live this life the best that you can. And I want you to do that by being an active learner. Just never stop being curious, never stop searching for information. Because knowledge is so powerful, but sometimes important knowledge isn't always given straight to you. You have to earn it yourself. Thank you.